Welcome to 302 Sports Weekly. I am your host, Benny Pinella, alongside my co-host, Pat Garianis. We have a lot to get to on today's show. In the world of high school sports, a lot has happened in volleyball, soccer, football. It's playoff time. We're going to get to all of that. We also are going to be joined by Tom Neubauer and Teresa Taylor from the DIAA. We'll be talking to them in just a little bit. But first, we want to thank, of course, Gary and Nick from Hooters for allowing us to have the show every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Live here at the Hooters, located in Newark at 136 the Astro Shopping Center. Come on out. It's a fun time. They have delicious wings, and it's a great place to take in a game.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And like Benny said, live every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. If you have any highlights, scores, stats, or any other information you would like to see on the show, just contact us. 302sports@gmail.com. Go to the website, 302sports.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at 302sports. On Twitter, of course, we got the poll question every week. And then add us on Snapchat as well, sports_302. And make sure to come down every Wednesday night here in Newark at the 136 Astro Shopping Center to take in the show.
A lot of fun we're having here. Also, we'll preview, I forgot to mention this, we'll preview our game of the week, Middletown Hodgson. That's coming up right now. We are joined by Tom Neubauer and Teresa Taylor from the DIAA, the Executive Director and Interscholastic Athletics Coordinator. Guys, thank you very much for joining us on today's show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So I guess the first question is, what is the DIAA? Kind of explain it to us, Tom.
We are unique in the entire country. We're a part of the National Federation of High School Associations. Every state plus DC has an association to regulate interscholastic sports. Some states also regulate activities. Some are just public schools. Some are public-private. Some are high school and middle school. Some are just high school. We have it all. We're public-private, high school, middle school, and then the kicker, we're directly a part of the state government. Terry and I are both employees of the State Department of Education, and that makes us totally unique in the country. So we're charged with running the day-to-day operations of interscholastic sport for the state.
All right, so now we have a little bit of a background about the whole entire thing. Can you talk about your individual roles and just kind of like how you are involved with that?
Okay. Our authority comes from state code. Our member schools have given up the authority through state code. We have 3 full-time employees. So you're looking at 2/3 of DIA right now. And then we have a very great secretary, Tina Bates, who holds the whole thing together. We have 118 member schools, 63 high schools. A lot of people don't realize that, but we got a lot of charter schools coming on. And then we have 55 middle schools, and we have new ones coming on also. My charge basically is day-to-day, ruling on eligibility, giving advice on our rules and regulations, making any decisions dealing with schools that may come about. But every decision I make is reviewed by our 19-person board of directors who have a monthly meeting, and that's where we'll be 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'll let Terry cover what she does.
Yeah. So I'm there to assist Tommy with the day-to-day. I also run the rules clinics at the beginning of the year and every season. Every sports, we have a rules clinic with the coaches and the officials to make sure they're up to date on the DIAA rules and the NFHS rules. I work with the officials organizations, make sure that they're prepared, oversee any sportsmanship, track sportsmanship issues, and address sportsmanship issues with the school. And I work on the social media aspect of DIAA. So when they're following you on 302 Sports, they can follow us on DIAA also.
There you go.
Little plug there for you. All right. So, Tom, you mentioned committees. Can you kind of go about how they're formed, especially when it comes for playoff time as we're approaching playoff time in the fall?
Okay. Again, as I said, everything we do because of our regulations, which give us our authority. We have 22 standing committees. 4 of them are non-sports. That's our rules and regulations, our officials, our sports medicine advisory, and I'm going to miss one, and our Unified. Well, I counted that. Our officials and sports medicine advisory. I'm sorry. Then we have 18 committees to deal with sports. 1 for every sport. We have a state tournament for, and then Unified, which works with our track and our football committee to put on the Unified state championships within the last year. Both Unified flag football and track and field are full state championship events. So we're real proud of that. That was started by my predecessor, Kevin Charles, and through the work of Special Olympics Delaware, we have a great program going there.
So we talked about what the committees are and their responsibilities. How are they formed? Is it coaches and individuals? How are they formed?
Our regulations charge us to have all groups represented. So we would like any conference that is playing that sport to send a representative. We would like to have an administrator or two. We always want administrators. They give a great perspective. And then the officials groups to be represented, because when we work for our state tournaments, we naturally have to have officials, and they become the liaison. Most of our committees are around 12. Some are a little lighter at 10, and a couple like track, which is putting on, it's one committee, but it actually puts on 2 separate meets, one for boys, one for girls. They're up around 15. Terry's actually still a committee chair, so I'll let her chime in with some more about the committees.
I was on the softball committee for many years as a softball coach, and then I became the softball committee chair. So you basically are there to assist the DIAA office with the running of the committee. You put together the brackets, you assign the fields, you go to the games, you monitor the games, you're the site manager, you get to give out the trophy at the end. But it really is the work of the committee is what I've learned as a committee person and now in the DIAA office. We really couldn't run all the state championships we run if it wasn't for the work of all the committee people, because they're really the places that we can't be, just the 3 of us.
Teresa, you're heavily involved in the social media aspect, as you said, so I'm going to come to you with this question. How do fans get involved? How do people outside the DIAA get involved with the DIAA?
Well, we have public members on a lot of the committees that Tommy talked about. In addition to school representatives, we like to have public members. So if there are people in the public that are interested in being on the committees, they can, we have a form on the website that they can fill out and join one of the committees. Otherwise, we are, charged with being a service organization. So we take phone calls from everybody who has a question. If they want an answer, if they want to get involved, we'll see if there's an opportunity for them. And we're always looking for their feedback and opinions, to see how they view what's going on in high school sports.
One thing I hear from fans of teams and whatnot is, well, why isn't this team in the playoffs? Why isn't that team in the playoffs? Can you talk about that process? And I know it's a point system. Can you break down exactly what goes into determining the seedings?
Okay, we're going to tag team this because Terry just did a great study for us. We basically have 6 systems, and each committee can pick their system. But each formula is basically the same. A certain number of points, 2 or 3 for a win. If the sport is allowed to have a tie, they usually give 1 point for a tie. And then, depending on your opponent, the strength of schedule is rewarded. So if a team is 500 or 501 or better, you might get 1 bonus point. And then if they're 700 or 701, you get another bonus point. You add all your points up, divide by the number of games, and you get an index. Some people like to multiply the number of games by the number of points they award for a win and divide it that way. Basically, you're still going to come out pretty much the same place, and that's why I'm going to kick it over to Terry, because she did a study of all 6 systems.
Yeah, and basically, Tommy covered it. You're getting points based on how good your season turned out, and you're getting points based on who you played. So you have to be playing some people that are going to be some good competition that are doing well. And we know that there's a lot of people that question, where the numbers come from, because it's not just your straight win and loss records. There are bonus points taken into account, opponents' win-loss percentages that get factored into it. So at the end of the day, I think they're all trying to judge on the same thing, that you played a tough schedule and you deserve to be in the tournament. And most of the times we're getting it right. So
yeah, it's got to be a pretty stressful process. I want to point out a couple of things that are in your rundown. You say protect the physical and well-being of athletes and promote healthy adolescent lifestyles. Tom, can you kind of go in a little deeper with that?
In my former life as an official, I used to do a lot of rules clinics to youth groups. And in the sport of football, it's very easy. We have 3 distinct codes. We have the pros, we have the colleges, and we have the high school. The pro football rule book is written to entertain. It's going to favor offense. It's going to do everything it can, to do that. College tries to balance, but the high school is for safety and for the integrity of the game. So face mask penalties, high school had them first. Mouthpiece required equipment, safe home. All those were in high school. As an official, it kind of was intriguing to me why they were the last one to put in the horse collar penalty, but we really didn't see it much in high school until the level of play got that high. So you really weren't seeing somebody chasing somebody down with guns. But once they were able to do that, that rule went right in. So we have a state law about concussion education. We have a state law for sudden cardiac arrest. We are guaranteing that you're going to go out there and play safe as you can within the limits of contact and collision sports.
Yeah, concussions have been a very a big hot button topic in the world of football. Teresa, to wrap it up, I'm going to go to you. How do fans get tickets? We're coming up on the playoffs.
Okay.
We're coming up on the state championship. How can fans get tickets, and where do they go?
So you can go to the website, statechamps.com/DIAA, if you want to buy online tickets for some of the semifinals and championship games. And all the time you can buy tickets at the gate, until we get to basketball season. Then we change a little bit, but most times you can still buy tickets at the gate, and a lot of schools will do pre-sales at their school also. So buy them at the school, buy them at the gate, or buy them online at statechamps.com.
Tom and Teresa, thank you very much for stopping by at 302 Sports Weekly.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, and thanks for all you do for the National Federation and for DIAA.
Yes,
we really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much. You can visit them at statechamps.com/DIAA. That was Teresa Taylor and Tom Neubauer. When we come back, we will dig in to the world of field hockey. Coming up next on 302 Sports Weekly.
Woo-woo!
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroupre.com.
Welcome to Hooters. Have a seat wherever you like.
Hooters of Newark is located at 136 Astro Shopping Center, Newark, Delaware. Come in day or night to watch your favorite teams and sports on our many TVs. It's a great, fun-filled environment that is kid-friendly. Our craveable food menu has all the appetizers, burgers, salads, tacos, seafood, you name it, as well as our world-famous Hooters wings, which are the official wings of 302sports.com.
Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. I am your host, Benny Pinella. Thank you very much for joining us. Pat Garian is with us as well. Special thanks to the DIAA for stopping by as well. If you want tickets and more information, statechamps/DIAA.com. Hey, that was a fun interview, Pat.
The thing that was great about it was it answered a lot of questions that a lot of people had. They always ask these questions about, what goes into the process. That was a very good segment. I thought it was very, I learned a lot from it, so I know everyone else did.
Coming away, I think we can all trust the process a little bit.
Let's trust it, baby. Just trust it.
The gentleman joining us is Jason Winchell to my left and Mike Lang.
Back.
I'm back. That's it. I'm back. The return.
Finally.
It's the grand return.
Yeah. Well, he called in last week. We got him live. Where were you at again? Were you at Tower Hill last week?
Tower Hill, yeah.
Tower Hill.
Live.
Giving us
live
that
always
update.
at
Tower Hill.
Yeah. So, I mean, now you're back live here. So
I'm back.
Yep.
Don't call it a comeback. All right, it's time to take a look at Division II field hockey, the state tournament bracket as we look at it right now. The first round from last night, an upset. We have Mount Pleasant beating DMA. It's 9-8. I know a lot of people are going to be, it's not really much of an upset. We do have Lake Forest beating Indian River, Friends finishing off St. Mark's. Tough to see that go down that way, but Brandywine falls to Ursuline as well. Looking at some of those results, Jason, what do you make of it?
It's an interesting tournament. Like you said, the seeding so far has been right, except for Mount Pleasant, the 9 seed being the 8 seed, but everything else has fallen into place. They get their wins, and now they have to travel on Saturday to a tough second round, and a lot of them on the road.
Yeah, you look at the second round games, Mount Pleasant going to number 1 Delmar Saturday at 11. Lake Forest visiting Archmere Saturday 11 o'clock. Ursuline will be going to number 2 Tower Hill Saturday at 11 o'clock, and Friends will be visiting Caravel Saturday at 11 o'clock. Which second round game intrigues you guys the most?
I kind of like the Lake Forest Archmere. We don't see too many of the downstate teams coming up to play. It's one of the sports where we don't see too much downstate, upstate competition. Yes. So I think it'll be interesting to see Lake Forest come up and play Archmere. Archmere 11-3. I think they finished the season really strong. So we'll see if they. It's a 5-4 game, so it should be. To me, that's the one that's really that's worth watching the most.
How about you, Jay?
I would go that route also, but I'm not going to overlook Caravel Friends. I think that will be a really good game. Friends has come on strong at the end of the year. They tied Tower Hill, gave Tower Hill the only tie on the schedule. So Friends has come on strong. Tough road place to play at Caravel, but I really think that's going to be a very competitive and great matchup for the fans.
Mike, I'm going to you for this one. Delmar is one of the toughest teams, I think, to figure out. Is there any team that can possibly stop them?
Tower Hill, I think, is the one that has a chance to pull, and it's an upset. Even though it's 1-2, that is an upset if Tower Hill beats Delmar. But Tower's got a lot of seniors on the team, 10 or 11 seniors. Isabel Pilson is one of the seniors signed with Stanford today. So they've got another player signed with Ball State. I can't remember which one that was, but they have Division I talent on Tower Hill. And if anybody can beat Delmar, it would be Tower. But Delmar beat Cape Henlopen by 6 goals this year, so they are by far. To me, they're the number 1 team in the state.
They say Stanford, the Ivy League of the West Coast. One thing here, Jay, is a lot of chalk so far in this bracket as we look up and down it. Do you see any of the top 4 seeds not advancing to the semifinals?
I think, if anything, maybe that 5-4 matchup, Lake Forest and Archmere, because they're pretty even. Like Mike said, we don't see many of the downstate teams come up here. Lake Forest has had a great year. A loss to Delmar, a loss to Cape. I mean, they got some good losses on their resume. So it's going to be interesting to see. I would also look at the Friends Caravel as a possible upset also.
We're going to move on now to Division I in the world, the state tournament of field hockey. The first round, all the games scheduled for tomorrow. We have Sussex Tech versus Padua, Concord, Dover, St. George's Tech taking on Cape Henlopen, and Polytech and Appoquinimink. An interesting game there. It's tomorrow at 2:30. Jason, which one of those games intrigues you the most?
I was going to say Appoquinimink and Polytech. I think that's going to be a really good matchup. Appo has come on strong at the end of the year. They were not even on our top 10 radar at the beginning of the year. They won their last 7 straight to sneak their way into the tournament and I think that could be the matchup of the first round.
They really rallied.
Yes.
They really did.
For both of you guys, were you a little bit surprised to see Middletown, who finished the year 8-2-5, and Smyrna 8-6-1? They were both ranked in our top rankings. Are you a little bit surprised that they didn't make the state tournament, especially after hearing the DIAA talk about how the rankings are determined?
Yeah, I think short answer is no. I mean, Tommy and Terry just explained the point system, and the teams that play the tougher schedules can get in at 9-5-1 or 10-5. These are all good teams that got in. It's not like I mean, Smyrna was 8-6-1. It's not like somebody got in that was 5-10.
Right.
These are all good teams that got in, but the point system is the point system, and that's how it works out. So I used to be surprised, but I've been doing this long enough. It doesn't surprise me anymore.
I'm not surprised, and I think what hurt Middletown is the ties. Because remember, we said the ties you only get 1 point compared to the 2 point. So some of the other teams that get the wins, because Middletown only lost 2 matches all year, but they had 5 ties.
Yeah.
Yeah, ties do not get you wins because they're not wins at all. Anyway, moving on. I'm going to go to you with this, Mike. Do you see any potential upsets in the rankings or in the playoffs right now?
I would not call this much of an upset, but I think Concord and Dover. Concord just does not give up goals. They are a very tight defense. Dover ended Cape Henlopen's real long winning streak at the beginning of the season. But I think Concord, just because they play such a tight brand of field hockey, you're looking at a 1-0 or 2-1 game, and anybody can win those. And I think that's the one I would look at.
A lot of people don't like to do this, and that's look ahead. But you know what? We're in the media. This is what we're supposed to do. So, which semifinal game would you like to see? What matchup would you like to see end up turning up?
I think we had the same one in mind.
Go ahead.
Cape and Polytech.
Absolutely.
They are
read my mind.
They are long time bitter rivals, and they played in the finals a couple of times. And Cape always has been. They've won 7 or 8 state championships in a row, and this is the first year for 2 divisions, so they've won the overall state championship. And Polytech is always. It's like the Yankees and Dodgers, and then finally in 1955, the Dodgers finally beat the Yankees. I think that's I think that's the one I'd like to see is Polytech and Cape, and I think that's going to be the most intriguing of the 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And they just played the end of the regular season like last week, so it's going to be an interesting matchup, and that's the one I'm looking forward to the most.
For that to happen, Concord is going to have to take care of business with Dover, and a lot of other things have to happen tomorrow as well. Cape Henlopen has to finish off St. George's Tech, and Polytech will need to get past Appo. Those games all on the slate for tomorrow. Right now, though, we have to move on to soccer when we come back on 302 Sports.
He began his career in home finance in 2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 home buyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time home buyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today. Mr. Italian began his career in home finance in 2000. Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus, wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique Image, you envision, we create.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley, cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations from Lewis, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out.
Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. I am your host, Benny Pinella, Pat Garianis, Jason Winchell, Mike Lang, and soccer now on 302 Sports Weekly.
Football,
as they call it, yes. Division II state tournament, some first-round scores from earlier today. We have DMA upsetting Archmere, shocker there, number 10 over number 7, and Tower Hill beating Friends, number 5 over number 12. And Pat, we have a scoring update as well, I believe, St. E's and St. Mark's.
Yep. And you're not going to like it, buddy. St. E's on top, 1-0 over the Spartans. So let's go Vikings. Let's go Vikings.
Looking for an update. We last one was in the 70th minute.
Yeah, that was getting close to winning time there, Benny.
Wow. And it's a kick in the gut. We also have Conrad and McKean happening tonight at Caravel at 8. Looking at that, we have some second-round matchups potentially. St. Andrews is awaiting the winner on St. E's, St. Mark's. We have Caravel awaiting Tower Hill, DMA and Laurel, and the winner of Conrad and McKean taking on Indian River. So some interesting stuff there. But Mike, is there any potential matchup you're really intrigued by?
Yeah, I like Laurel. I saw them play at St. Mark's a couple of weeks ago, and I think they're going to beat DMA. But I enjoyed watching them play so much that I wish I could go just to see them play again. They score a lot of goals. They're a free-willing team, and they're a lot of fun to watch. DMA a little tighter. They play a little tighter soccer. But I think that would be really, even though it's 10-2, I think it's going to be a really enjoyable match to watch.
And I would lean to Caravel Tower Hill, the 4-5 matchup. You got your defending state champs. Tower Hill has the 5 seed. They get Caravel. I'm really looking forward. I am going to go to that on Saturday because I'm looking forward to that matchup.
Any of those first-round scores that we've talked about, obviously the 2 that were yesterday and then the one that we have an update on today, any surprise at all whatsoever? I mean, I know DMA has a 10 seed defeating Archmere. Is there anything that really surprises you?
Not really. DMA did beat Archmere during the regular season. It was early in the season, and DMA kind of struggled coming down the end, whereas Archmere was going up. But all of a sudden, you get in that tournament game, and everything changes. And DMA was able to score early and hold off the Hawks. I mean, the Hawks were charging late in that game, but DMA did a good job holding them off. So I wasn't really surprised by any of the results.
No, I don't. None of those scores from yesterday surprised me. And St. Elizabeth's, they lost to St. Mark's in the regular season 1-0. So a 1-0 St. Elizabeth's win would not surprise me either. And I don't know anything about McCain soccer, so I couldn't tell you anything.
Hey, way to use the proper terminology there, Mike. Nil. Gotta use nil.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Gotta get the terminology right. All right, we're moving on to Division I, the state tournament there. In the first round, all of this happening Saturday. We have Wilmington Charter matching up against Sally's. Kind of straightforward there. We also have Cape Henlopen and St. George's Tech, Sussex Central, Appoquinimink, and Newark versus Cesar Rodney. It's going to take a lot for Wilmington Charter to upend Salesianum, but what first-round matchup, Mike, intrigues you the most?
I'm going to go St. George's and Cape Henlopen. Now I got to give I got to say hello to my neighbor Justin Knowles, the coach of St. George's. So I'm might be a little biased, not biased, but I just want to say hi to Justin. They're doing a great job down at St. George's, but they really quietly put together a fantastic season, 11-3-1, and they're playing in Flight A this year, so they had to play Appo, and they played some of the Concord, and they played some of the other Division 1 teams. They've done a great job. Cape Henlopen's got Zach Sheloff and a couple of other real top players down there. I think that one down in Dover is going to be a real fun match to watch.
Obviously, right now, the odds-on favorites to meet in the championship game are Salesian and Appoquinimink. Are we looking at a rematch from last year, or is there a team in there somewhere that could pull off the big-time upset and kind of ruffle the feathers in this thing a little bit?
I would go maybe Cesar Rodney, the 3 seed. They gave Appo a good game a good match in the regular season before falling 4-2. So CR might be the one team. I don't see anybody in the top half beating Sally's.
Is there any way Salesianum just has like a night where they just sleep, or is this thing pretty much a lock? What do you think?
Well,
It's always a possibility.
Yeah, and the pressure's on Salesianum. If you're a team like Charter who's playing them, no one's expecting you to win, right? All the pressure's on Sally's. All of a sudden, Sally's chances are going wide, hitting the post, and it's not going their way. And Charter gets an early goal. Things change. The pressure is on Salesianum.
Yeah, I think this is Salesianum's time to lose. Jason and I have been talking, and we've seen a lot of Salesianum soccer, and really this might be the best Salesianum soccer team that I've seen over the past several years. Their one loss was to the number one team in the country. So
that's high praise.
They, if they come out tight or they just are missing shots, hitting crossbars, or maybe somebody comes out and has a game plan to beat them, it can happen. There's always upsets.
We're going to move right along now from soccer to volleyball. It's coming up next on 302 Sports Weekly.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley: cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations from Lois, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out.
Sandy said they scored in the final
Brian
seconds of
Hackney joined
regulation.
Patterson Schwartz and Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroupre.com.
Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. A quick scoring update.
I bet you can't. You can't wait. You can't go do
Benny
this
couldn't wait
fast
to
enough.
get that score update. Go ahead, Benny. Tell us.
You can't do it fast enough.
Hey, Pat, it's overtime. St. Mark's. We'll see you in the fifth quarter, whatever they call it, third quarter, whatever.
St. Mark's
we're in
scoring
there.
in the final seconds of that one.
Don't sleep on the Spartans, people. Don't you sleep
Extra
on
time.
them. Extra time.
Absolutely, that's what it is. Extra time.
We'll see what happens there. But right now, we're looking at the volleyball state tournament, first round and second round, wrapping itself up in the quarterfinals as well. We are all the way into the semifinals when it comes to volleyball. A lot of one-sided scores. We're going to flash them up. We're going to talk about them real quick. DMA over Cape, Smyrna over Brandywine, Caravel over St. Elizabeth's, Conrad over Wilmington Christian. They would beat two Christians in this tournament. Apicourt, you called that, by the way.
There's a lot of Christians, Ben. It's just that there's two Christian schools.
It's a joke.
Yeah, that was a joke, too.
Appoquinimink over Concord, Redline over Sussex Academy, Friends over CR, Tatnall over Lake Forest. Pat, what happened in the second round?
I'm sorry, Ben, what was that?
So, Pat, what happened in the second?
Second round, there you go. Okay, I couldn't hear you. I'm slowly starting to lose my hearing at 25 years old. I'm a little bit concerned. Moving on to the second round, Padua defeating the defending state champions, two-time state champions, and it determines that there will be a new state champion this year. They defeat DMA 3-1. Archmere over Smyrna, St. Mark's over Caravel by the same score. You might as well just add Conrad to that too to beat Delmarva Christian 3-1. Then Tower Hill over Appo, Red Line over Indian River, Ursuline over Friends, 3-0. Charter over Tatnall in a thriller. Barn burner, as they like to say, 3-2, Benny.
That wouldn't be the only thriller. Is moving to the quarterfinals.
No, it wouldn't,
Padua
right.
beats Archmere. Couple of sweeps here. St. Mark's and Tower Hill shutting out Conrad and Red Line respectively. Then we have what they're calling the match of the tournament.
Oh, no doubt.
Ursuline, Wilmington, Charter. Mike, what happened there?
Well, Charter, the 6th seed, and by the way, maybe the best 6th seed ever.
That's a good point.
Went up 2-0, but as you know in volleyball, you got to win in 3 or you're looking at a long night. Ursuline came back 1, set 3. Set 4, Charter had match point a few times, but 25 wasn't enough. 30 wasn't enough. 35 wasn't enough. Ursuline came back and won the 4th set 36-34. And in volleyball, that's extreme overtime.
That's unheard of.
Okay, let me put it to you like this, Benny. I was doing PA announcing for the Padua, Archmere, St. Mark Conrad game at St. E's. By the way, these guys were on call. By the way, if you weren't, go check that out on 302 Sports. The scorecards only go down to 36. So that game almost got to the point to where they were going to have to start editing the scorecard to keep it going. That's how unreal that is. 36-34.
That's
And
unbelievable.
a lot of times in the 5th set, the team that has dropped those 2 has the win taken out of their sails. And Ursuline took a 15-9 5th set victory. So we're chalk heading into the semifinals tomorrow night, right up the street here at St. Mark's.
So let's set the scene for you when it comes to the semifinals. Tower Hill, Ursuline, again at St. Mark's. We also have St. Mark's and Padua. Some interesting games there, but Jason, which one intrigues you the most?
Tower Hill Ursuline. I think that's gonna have an instant classic written all over it. Tower Hill's got two of the better hitters in the state, and Maddie Sachs and Thompson. They're gonna be hard to beat. But Ursuline's got the best defense in the state, led by libero Stan Davis and her sister Sydney Davis. The Davis sisters were spectacular last night in the game against Charter, and I think that one could be the 5-setter of the night.
All right, so we know we have a game so far of the tournament. Is there an individual or team performance so far that has just been unbelievable, that is noteworthy?
Absolutely. Morgan Mendick had 16 aces in the opening round win over Sussex Academy. You don't see 16 aces in the season, 16 aces in the opening match against Sussex Academy. So that was pretty impressive. And also, I think Tatnall had a special thing, didn't they, Mike?
Julia Campbell, a senior, recorded her 1,500th assist in their first round match. I believe the win that they had.
Holy smokes.
Julia Campbell, 1,500 assists. She will be graduating this year. So yeah, an outstanding performance. My performance from last night from St. Mark's, Savannah Siemens.
Yeah, I agree.
Just so you set the stage here, St. Mark's is playing without Aaron Derrick, and she's the senior and maybe their best hitter from Siemens. So Savannah Siemens, 22 kills last night. I believe she had 12 digs, 3 blocks, a couple of aces, and she also had a bunch of assists. She does everything for St. Mark's. And they replaced Aaron Derrick with a freshman, Caroline Dietrich. And she played a good game.
She did.
Second leading member in kills last night as a freshman in the playoff pressure for the first time. But if you haven't seen Savannah Siemens play this year, you are missing something special.
Yeah, I'm convinced she can hang from the rims, Ben. This girl gets up in the air.
Absolutely.
Wow. I'm telling you.
So, yeah, but there were some good performances. But I like Savannah Siemens, and Morgan Mendick's been outstanding all year.
Again, these matchups happening, I believe, tomorrow.
Yes. Tomorrow night,
St. Mark's, yes. Tomorrow night at St. Mark's, 6 p.m. and 7:30 respectively. Tower Hill, Ursuline, St. Mark's, Padua. Winner, both, goes on to the state championship. When we come back, though, we have to talk football on 302 Sports Weekly.
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroupre.com.
Out of this segment at 8:10, so we're going to just kind of go back and forth.
Hooters of Newark is located at 136 Astro Shopping Center, Newark, Delaware. Come in day or night to watch your favorite teams and sports on our many TVs. It's a great, fun-filled environment that is kid-friendly. Our craveable food menu has all the appetizers, burgers, salads, tacos, seafood, you name it, as well as our world-famous Hooters wings, which are the official wings of 302sports.com.
Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. Benny Pinella, Pat Garianis, Mike Lang, and Jason Winchell. Time to talk football. Looking at D2, we do have Howard jumping in, Milford jumping out, and a very interesting week because Milford gets kind of dominated by Delmar, 35-10. St. E's gets shut out by St. Mark's, 35-0. Looking at you, Pat. And then DMA beats Newark 51-6. Some interesting scores there. Rankings look pretty much solidified, and as we look at these upcoming matchups, Mike, which one intrigues you the most?
Well, I think the Woodbridge Delmar, the 302 Sports game of the week, the downstate game of the week. I don't know if it has any playoff implications or flight bait. It does. But I think Woodbridge is defending champion. Delmar's had a great season. And I think that's going to be a real fun game, and you can watch it on 302 Sports, of course.
Yeah, they had Lopez South title on the line in that one.
Lopez South on the line. Okay, there we go.
And I would look at Tower Hill Friends, the independent tournament on the line in that one. I think that'll be a real good matchup, Friends and Tower Hill.
There's a lot of intriguing things to look at, but as we look at the unofficial pairings of the tournament right now, we have Tower Hill and Delmar, DMA Conrad, AI DuPont being at number 3, taking on Howard, and we have Woodbridge and Friends. An interesting matchup there because I believe Woodbridge and Friends was last year's state tournament championship, and they're playing in our unofficial tournament in the first round. Some interesting things there, but Mike, is there any one of those potential matchups that really intrigues you?
Yeah, I really like Howard and AI. AI started the season with 6 or 7 straight wins. Howard just keeps winning, and they keep slipping under the radar.
Yeah.
And they really score some points. They've got some talented players in that team. Sean Bowman is a receiver that plays for them that's really good. And nobody talks about Howard, but I think they can really sneak up on some people out of that 6th position, and I think Howard AI might be the game of the first round if that holds up.
One thing to keep an eye on for me, DMA Conrad. They'll be playing each other in back-to-back weeks, and that rivalry, although DMA so far has been the superior team, could bring out the best in Conrad. So keep an eye on that.
And Howard did beat AI in the regular season, so that's something to look at as a motivating factor for AI in that one.
A lot of interesting stuff here as we wrap up Division II. Of course, you can, again, check out our Division II game. We're going to be broadcasting 7:30 p.m. on Friday night, our downstate group of 302 Sports, Woodbridge at Delmar. Right now, we're going to send it over to Pat for a recap of our last week's Spotlight game of the week, Smyrna versus Sally's, an intriguing one to say the least.
And it's been one of those rivalries now where you're expecting points. This is episode 4 of the Smyrna Sally series. Let's take a look from Baynard Stadium. First play of the game, we open it up. Could you ask for anything more than this? They kick it to Will Knight, first time returning kicks all of his career. First time he touches the ball on a return, look what he does. See ya. Would you expect anything less from 25 and White? First time touching the ball in special teams, and he scores a touchdown. 99 yards. Smyrna sucking the wind out of the place. 6-0. They go on top in this one. We move on. That was only 14 seconds, too. The boy was burning. To give you an idea, that's pretty quick. Move on here. A little under 8 to go in the first quarter. Look at the interception by the big man, Casey Spink. Number 61, getting up and grabbing the ball, comes to the sideline. Overheard him because I was sideline reporting for this when he says, "Coach, I can't believe that actually happened." Neither can we, Casey. It was a heck of a play. Now they kick the ball off to Keyshawn Tolbert. He gets Smyrna some decent field position here before he's taken down. And it's going to set up Smyrna with decent field position. Now we move on into the second quarter. And it's Iman Roberts. Look at the moves right here. The juke, the jive, get to the sideline, put the guy in the dust. Touchdown, Smyrna. They go on top 12-0 in this one on Roberts' touchdown play. You might see that later on. We're not quite sure. Could be a top play nominee. Now we move on here. The ensuing kickoff, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They kick it off. They pooch it up to Michael DiNardo, who finds a seam right here. If they're bouncing off a defender, he could. Oh, he coughs the ball up. He coughs it up, and it's recovered by Stephen Whaley. Smyrna has a chance here to put this game in a good position for themselves here before halftime. So here we go. It's Isaiah Wilson rolling to his left, looking, firing, and it's, oh, what a play by the sophomore, number 15, Gabriel Puzangara. If I messed your name up, son, I apologize. But what a play by that young man. Diving interception. The Sows just stick it in this game. And now they punt it off, and it's muffed. It's muffed by Smyrna, but luckily they get on top. Although you see a Salesiana player come up with it, he did kind of steal the ball from him. So Smyrna averts disaster once again. And look at this play you're about to watch right here. Ryan Bryson on the tipped pass. Interception. Are you kidding me? Shout out to, I forget who the Sixers announcer is, but he says that all the time.
Tom McGinnis.
Tom McGinnis, yeah. Bryson with one, maybe the play of the week on that incredible interception. Here we go, right before the half, we're going to punt it again. This one is going to go into the end zone. We have to get some punt love out there. Shout out Pat McAfee, respecting the brand on that one. Now we move into this right before halftime. Wilson, he's going to roll out here, trying to make something happen right before the half. No timeouts for Smyrna. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. He's hit, he's tackled. No good. Right before the half, big stop by the Sows to keep this game at 12-0. Salesians got a shot. Now we move into the second half. 30 seconds left. A little RPO. They call that the run-pass option. Wilson fumbles the ball, and there he is again. Bryson on the recovery. The Sows get momentum, and they're in great field position to get themselves right back in this game, and they do. The Sows cash in. It's Carson Salvo breaking some tackles, making one cutback, and just tiptoes into the end zone for that one. It's 12-7 now. The Sows are pumped up. The sidelines were going crazy at this moment. You're thinking maybe Sallies can make a game of it. But here we go. This is Zach Wynn rolling out, trying to find a little over 5 to go in the third. Pick six. What a play here by Duran Aku. Down the sideline, avoiding tacklers, and into the end zone. But wait, dirty laundry on the field, Benny. A lot of penalties on this one. I believe 3 total on the Eagles, and moves them back about 80 yards. Touchdown points taken off. Sows still in this one. Now we're late third quarter in this one. The Sows take a risk. They're going to punt the ball to Will Knight. Takes the ball at the 9-yard line. He's looking, reading defenders, looking, breaking a tackle. Oh no. He gets past the defense, and look at the young man rumble. You can't stop him. Why would you punt to him? Why? Smyrna takes it to the house. Goes up 20-7 after converting their first 2-point conversion of the game. And that just deflated the Sows of the Sows. Smyrna would add one on later in this one, and that would bring us to our final 28-7. The Eagles moving on to 7-2 after, I believe, an 0-2 start to start the season. They're looking good come playoff time in the Sows. It's a tough loss.
Yes.
Moves them to 5-4 and might have ended their playoff chances. We'll have to wait and see.
It's going to be one of those situations where Salesian, they've had a tough schedule, but with a 5-4 record, do you put them in the playoffs? We have them 4 in our rankings, as we flash that really quick for you on our screen. We also have Sussex Central dropping after their upset loss. Cesar Rodney upending them. Sussex Central we had at 4, falling all the way down to 6. We have Middletown crushing Concord 46-0, and those are some scores from last week. All right, some key matchups coming up. We have Smyrna and Polytech. Sally's against St. Mark's. That Sally-St. Mark's rivalry in these past couple of years has been fairly one-sided. We'll see if Sally's can end their season on a high note or St. Mark's can make something happen. Dover and Cesar Rodney. Dover being able to make some things happen after beating Polytech. And Hodgson and Middletown, which is our spotlight game of the week. An interesting one, and we're going to get to it coming up next on 302 Sports Week.
opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus, wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique image, you envision, we create.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley: cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations from Lois, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out.
Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. Benny Pinella, Pat Garianis, and it's time to talk about our Spotlight Game of the Week. Joining us is Coach Moffett and Vaughn Wood from Hodgson. The Silver Eagles getting ready to take on the Cavaliers of Middletown. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate you having us be part of the show this week. Thank you.
I know we're appreciative of you guys stopping by. Obviously, your opponent, Middletown, the juggernaut in football in Delaware, but you guys are very talented. We've seen that with your team all year long, playing at a high level. So going into this game, do you kind of have a formula, or is there a formula at all for beating Middletown, or do you see weakness?
You know what? We've had the opportunity to look at them on film, and you talk about tradition. There's big tradition down in Middletown football over the history. They're a really good football team. Very talented, skilled positions, very good quarterback. They run fast, but when we prepare for this game, we understand, it's for a Flight A championship and things of that nature. But I'm kind of that humble coach. We look at this game as not putting pressure on ourselves in the game. You know what? I try to tell my kids it comes down to we understand our opponent, but we're not playing in that capacity. I let my kids know that hey, it's about us. It's about us doing what we're expected to do, following the game plan and putting ourselves to be in position to be successful. One of the things, a good team, we respect everybody we play and try to tell kids, but we fear nobody. We feel that we're a pretty good football team and we're going to go out there and compete at a high level. I think you look at Middletown, they're a good team, so it's one of those games that we have to play smart football, protect the football, kind of be disciplined on the things we do to beat a team like that. And it's been a good week of practice so far for us, and we'll try to put in a scheme that we can be successful against them.
Vaughn, it's your first year in Flight A this year. You jumped up to D1. I know Coach is going to say, hey, it's the next game. It's just a game. It's the next game. This is for Flight A now. I mean, you guys are 8-1. They're 9-0. You beat them. You got the tiebreaker. Yeah. How important is it for you guys as a group of players to be known first year in Flight A, you won it all?
It's really important, When it came into this season in Flight A, we just know that since it's our first year, we wanted to make history at Hodgson. We wanted to be that first group to, make it to the playoffs for Flight A. We got our first Division I win. We making history every step of the way. Everything we do is history. And then to actually had a chance to be able to compete for a Flight A championship is just another history in the making. Other day we was in the gym practicing, and we was looking at the board and we seen how all the banners up there is Flight B conference champs. We be able to put the first Flight A conference champion up there to win Friday night, so that's important.
Vaughn, I'm going to go to you for this one. Kind of same question I asked Coach. Looking at Middletown, looking at them on tape, do you see any weaknesses, or do you see a formula on how to beat them?
I think they're a solid team all around. It's just, looking at them, I don't really see too many weaknesses. Yeah. But we just got to come out and we got to fight. We have to battle. And this week at practice, we definitely bringing intensity with real focus. All our kids, my teammates is watching film. We're really trying to break down, see what their strategy is. And we just going to take whatever they got and bring what we have with them. But, yeah, so everything they do is good, but as long as we come and we fight, we should win. Coach,
you guys, there's one thing about your team that kind of sets you apart from a lot of teams in the state, and that's your size. You guys just got a big team all around, and you're big, fast, you're talented, you're strong. Can you talk about how that may play a difference in this game and you guys asserting your will, because you've done it 8 games in a row now?
Yeah, you know what's happening, one of the things you look at every game, we know we're big, the thing that we've gotten better. Mm-hmm. That's the thing you ask the kids every week, you know what? That's one of our biggest things. Let's get better every week, and we've showed that. We have the size, and what happens is you get kids starting to play together. As every week goes on, you start to know what the man's doing to you, to the left and the right, and up front we're getting better. And we got a solid running game. We have a sophomore, and Darius Hill has had an outstanding season for us. You look at the Flight A games outside this one we're going to play Friday night. He has competed at a high level against our opponents in Flight A. I think he's close to 1,000-yard rushing this career. And but again, some of the things we've asked the team to do defensively, we're doing that. We're running to the ball. We're playing discipline up front. At the next level, at the linebacker, and the secondary is playing real well. But you look at it, didn't know that statistic though, but we were holding teams to about 8.5 points a game, and that's a real big compliment of the defense. But I give a lot of credit, when you talk about why we're at the position we're right now, because of a great coaching staff. I believe my coaching staff has done as well, but I like to give really compliments to my offensive coordinator Dave Collins and my defensive coordinator Franz Kappel. Just the work that they put in, the long hours in preparing these guys for big games. Nothing's changed for this week. We're always up at night. I'm right along with them. We're texting, we're calling. What do you think of this? We're sending clips of, hey, take a look at this clip right here. Send it on the phone. You watch it. So a lot of effort is being put in that perspective in preparing these young men. And with those two and all of my whole coach staff. But I know it becomes a lot of that burning the midnight hour. Them two and myself. We're doing it. And you know what? There's an old saying. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. We're preparing. We want to be successful in what we're doing.
And talk about that success. Your team has had a remarkable season on the cusp of a playoff run. Can you kind of talk about what your goals are now? Are you thinking make the playoffs? Is obviously up.
It's funny, before we started this season, I meet with my team every August 15th. We'll meet in the stands, and it was one of those talks that we didn't talk state championship. What I told the team, and Vaughn can concur on that. We talked about, hey guys, first year Flight A, let's go out and win a Flight A championship. And we go back, we talked about it this week and said, guys, remember that talk? We're right there. We have an opportunity to do that. And you take care of that business, let everything else fall into place. But when we talked about championships and playoffs, it wasn't, one of our big themes this year. It was really just, let's see, get better. But as we progress after that first loss against Sussex Central, I think 8-game winning streak, but they believe. One of the things I talk to those guys, it's about a process. Believe in this process.
Trust it.
Guys. Believe in what we're doing. Trust it. I know some teams, that's the thing we use, and right now they're trusting in that process. They really are. And right now, you know what? There's a belief system we're having right now. We believe that we can compete with teams. We believe that everyone straps on their equipment just like anybody else. And we feel right now that we're playing at a high level. Are we perfect? No. I told them this week we got to strive for perfection this week going against Middletown, and that was one of the things. We got to be good. And you talk about the energy in practice. It's been there. Everyone's been there. It's energy. There's kids flying around, and And I told him, I said, no pressure. We're just going to go out there, prepare ourselves and have some fun.
Vaughn, you dropped your first game of the season, and ever since then, it's just been a steady increase as it's going on. What's been the biggest change you've seen amongst you and your teammates as the season's going on that's allowed you to continue this run?
Chemistry with the team. We each week, each game, we get closer and closer to the team. I think that's the difference from this season and last season. We like more of a family. We had this bond that's like unbreakable. The offense had a bond, defense got a bond, and it just comes together. And we just play. We play hard. We're real focused. Intensity is there every week. So as long as you have those three things, chemistry, focus, and intensity, your season's pretty well. And that's how we get this 8-game winning streak going right here.
Vaughn, are there any key players for Hodgson that looking forward towards this game on the defensive side that can really make an impact?
Other than you, of course.
Spread the
love. The whole defensive line. So you got Jalik, number 9, Jalik Hayward, defensive end. You got nose guard, Amir Mitchell, and other defensive end, Damar Wallace. And then you got our 2 freshman cornerbacks too. Who is it? Lester Coleman.
Lee Coleman and Bobby Arnold.
So that's a key part because they like to run. So we need our D-line, clog the holes, stop the run. And then we need our freshman cornerbacks to step up because I know they have a good pass threat too with the quarterback and their receivers out there. So we all just got to step up as a whole. So that's all it is.
It's going to be an interesting game. Hodgson at Middletown. The unstoppable force meets the immovable object. Number 1 is on the line, and it's our spotlight game of the week. Coach Moffett, Vaughn, thank you very much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Best of luck this week.
Yes, best of luck. We'll see what happens. That game, of course, is it's going to be Friday night game. We'll catch it live on our YouTube at 302 Sports. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll talk more about football. And we have a rundown. We also have the top 5 plays coming up as well on 302 Sports Weekly.
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens and bathrooms. Want a professional no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust. Life's too short to hate your home.
Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. Another scoring update. It's funny, we're doing the show, and we also have our eye on the St. Mark's St. E's game. Because obviously it's our alma maters taking on each other. It was 1-0. St. E's had the lead. St. Mark's rallied back, sent it overtime, and now, Pat...
Shootout.
We're in a shootout.
Shootout, man. It's going to be incredible. If I'm the goaltender, I'm doing cartwheels to distract the shooter. It works every time.
Cartwheels, that's your
Cartwheels right in
tip.
front of the goal. It works every time except for that one time on Sports Center, not top 10.
Right, I did see that.
Cartwheels, he
999 times out of 1,000, cartwheels before the shootout shot works.
I want to make a special thanks again to Coach Moffett and Vaughn Wood for showing up on the show and, of course, talking about their spotlight game of the week against Middletown.
They're
Speaking
back
of which,
here. They're back here. They're in attendance.
They're independent. They're taking photos and everything. You're going to love this. Really quickly, though, we're going to go to Nick Alessandrini if he's ready with the Twitter stuff.
Look at him. Earpiece in. He looks like Tom Brokaw over
wait,
there.
we have Nick Halliday.
It's actually going to be me. Can you hear me?
Nick
Nick Halliday.
Tom Brokaw.
And Nick is actually working on the producing today, so I backed out, and I'm gonna do the social media now. Am I allowed to, right?
Right, absolutely.
Right, so
your name's
unfortunately, this is probably the largest one that I've seen our spread.
Wow.
And it's an 84-16 Middletown.
Wow, I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that.
Listen,
Still Regals didn't hear that.
we can't pick them, right? That was the fans, but
No.
I'm not. Don't kill the message. Yeah,
You do
exactly.
not-
But I'm
do
telling
not
you now,
sleep.
everybody live and everybody watching this, we're gonna have it live. If you're not gonna be there, you might want to watch this game for
Yes,
real.
you're going to want to watch this game. Do not sleep on the Silver Eagles. This is going to be a very intriguing game.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Nick, as well.
Yeah, Nick, thanks.
I mean, we've talked about it that of all the teams that have played Middletown so far, Hodgson matches them up.
They do. I'm telling you, and we'll get into some keys, but I just got to say this. If they can control the clock offensively with their run game, they have the talent to take them down. We said it early in the year. Same thing when Smyrna played them at the beginning of the year. It's the same thing. Hodgson's got a little more size to him than Smyrna does, and I think that could play into their game plan a little bit more.
It's going to be a very interesting game. Mike or Jason, do you have any comments on it?
I agree with Pat. I think it's going to be a Hodgson size. And we saw Slasiano have success running the ball in the first half. And I think Hodgson's a better running team. So if they can control the clock, get that ground game going, and keep Middletown's offense off the field, I think that's their keys to winning this game.
I've liked this Hodgson team all year. I'm just saying. This is definitely a game to pay attention to.
They do have a freshman quarterback, I believe, in Hodgson. So
CJ
he's going to rely on his older teammates to kind of keep those nerves settled. And he's the quarterback, so he's going to be in charge of the ball. So if you can hang on to it, avoid turnovers, Hodgson has size. They can really control that line of scrimmage. And I know what the Twitter poll said, but I think it's a lot closer than that.
We have plenty of interesting matchups this week, but of course we're going to look at our unofficial seedings. If the tournament started today, Hodgson's in it. They're playing William Penn. CR is playing Sussex Central. Smyrna and Middletown, they get a bye, but no Salesianum. Guys, let's talk about that really quickly. Mike, no Salesianum. It's kind of a shocker.
It is, but I think they. They're 5-4. You got to win the games. They scheduled really tough. They may have scheduled themselves right out of the playoffs. And they're finishing the season. I know I went to Salesianum. You went to St. Mark's. Jason went to Salesianum. Pat was there for a while. It was
1 year. Yeah.
1 year. It's a big deal.
Yes.
It's a big deal, but the game is. They need 2 points. They need those points, and they're not going to. They're not going to get them. So maybe Sally's has to look at how they schedule. Maybe they need to change a few things. But they're 5-4. Maybe they don't deserve to be in.
I'm telling you, I haven't seen a 4-loss team in the playoffs in a while. It's almost if you don't get to 7, you don't get in.
Yeah, but William Penn's sitting at 4 losses and lost to Salesianum, but right now they're in because of their Division I schedule. Sally played 2 out-of-state teams that fell in the Division II category, and they got St. Mark's, who's a Division II category. Those Division II games will come back and they haunt you.
I don't know if they can't get teams in Delaware to play them. I know Father Judge is a brother of Oblate School, and they lost to Judge, and I believe that's a Division I school. Judge.
Yes, that's Division I.
But maybe they just can't get teams to schedule them, and that this has been a problem for Salesian historically, getting Division I teams in Delaware to schedule them. But they need to look at the schedule and figure out what they can do to make sure this doesn't happen.
And that's where not being in the conference hurts you, because you don't get a chance to schedule. William Penn, they got 7 conference games.
Yes.
They have to play them. You at Salesianum, you don't have anybody on your schedule. You have to come out and find 10 teams to play you. not easy to do as an athletic director. And like Mike said, if teams don't want to play you, you got to go out of state and play. It's just the nature of the business. But I think not being in that in a conference hurts them. So maybe further down the road, maybe we can get into maybe 3 conferences or more conferences to have Salesianum play other teams.
It'll be interesting to see. Again, it's hard to fathom a late November playoff and no Salesianum football. Just shocking to me. Anyway, we're going to take a step aside. When we come back, we have, of course, our final rundown, Pat. Local colleges. Let's see what UD's been up to. Also, we have your players of the week and top 5 plays. It's on the way. 302 Sports Weekly.
The pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements pride in the details make
back in the 80s, Sally's had to go to
roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements.
St. Mark's in the shootout 3-2
from a neighbor you can trust.
Your local real estate resource. Brian Hackett joined Patterson Schwartz and Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Florida joined Brian.
I don't care. I'm just glad St. Mark's team did something.
That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional
Ben, are you
knowledge
going to
of
be
local market
egotistical and want the odds
and a
this week
commitment
so you
to
get #1?
represent honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or
You want
sale,
'em?
think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroup.com.
Welcome back to 302 Sports Weekly. Once again, we have a scoring update, and then St. Mark's found a way to come back on St. E's, winning in the shootout 3-2. So, Pat, it was a good game.
I'm sorry, I'm not a good loser. That's one thing. I mean, maybe the DIAA should talk to me about it a little bit, but sorry, it's just born and bred that way. I do not tolerate losing to St. Mark's very well. Okay, I'm just joking. Just joking. But I'm not.
I believe Mike Lang, as he's walking off the set, says they're going to be playing St. Andrews. What's the odds they get by that?
I don't know. St. Andrews is a pretty good program, and like Mike said, it's going to be a tough one for the Spartans, but you never know what could happen.
So we'll have to see what happens. Right now, though, we have our look at local colleges. Pat, what did UD do?
All right, let's go. Let's warm the throat up to roll through this one. The University of Delaware. That's where we always like to start, and this week it doesn't change. They won their 4th CAA football game of the season on Saturday afternoon as the Blue Hens used a big second half to defeat Maine. They take down the Black Bears 31-17 at Fitzpatrick Stadium. Blue Hens freshman Colby Reeder from Salesianum scooped up the ball at the Maine 5-yard line, dove into the end zone for a crucial touchdown that gave the Hens the lead for good, 24-17, 13:22 remaining. Troy Reeder, his brother, made a career-high 17 tackles, man. I didn't even get that in my high school career. Yeah, I wasn't very good, but that's besides the point. He got 17 in the victory, also blocked the punt, while his brother Colby, of course, recorded a sack in the final quarter and finished with 7 tackles. Junior Kenai Kane, breakout season for the former Sussex Tech player. He had 99 yards and his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. A 1-yard burst with 21 seconds left in the second quarter gave Delaware that 14-10 advantage at the break. Kane just missed surpassing 100-yard marks for the 3rd consecutive game. Bilal Nichols, Hodgson graduate, played under Coach Moffett, of course. He had 7 tackles, a sack, pass breakup, and a blocked field goal. And they will host Albany, final home game of the season this Saturday, 3:30. Benny.
UD versus the Great Danes. Delaware State, they return to action next Saturday, November 11th, for their 2017 home finale against Morgan State. Military Appreciation Day contest is scheduled for 2 p.m. at Alumni Stadium. DSU will close out its season on November 18th at Florida State in Tallahassee. At Florida State in Tallahassee. Ooh.
I will say a prayer. That's all I'm going to say. Now let's move on to Wesley. Senior linebacker Mike Sabino, formerly of Lake Forest, and junior safety Capadonna Miller. That's a heck of a name.
Yes.
Each tallied 13 stops in their most recent game. Miller added an interception and a half tackle for loss, while Stefan Woodruff from St. George's picked up 10 tackles. Senior wide receiver James O'Kike and freshman defensive end Stefan Woodruff earned NJAC Player of the Week awards for their performance. in Wesley's 30-20 win over number 25 Salisbury on Saturday to clinch a spot in the NCAA tournament for the 13th consecutive year and at least a share of the NJAC championship. O'Clegg was named the NJAC Offensive Player of the Week. He finished the contest with 6 receptions, 164 yards, and a pair of touchdowns, produced a touchdown 40 and 72 yards apiece, and leads the NJAC in receiving yards per game at 83.1. Woodruff picked up Defensive Rookie of the Week for the 4th time this season, and the first Route 13 rivalry game of his collegiate career. Woodruff secured 11 tackles, including 6 solos, 2.5 tackles for loss, and a sack. He also forced a fumble and blocked a kick to help Wesley remain the only unbeaten team in conference play. He currently leads the NJAC in sacks with 11.
Impressive showing by Wesley. Moving on to King's College, Tyler Marioni from Salesianum. He caught 7 passes, 54 yards. Marioni equaled Dan Kempa's King's record of 151 pass receptions and broke Kempa's record of 60 catches in 1 year. He now has 65 on the year with 54 receiving yards. He is now 2,185 career receiving yards. He is second behind Kempa's 2,550 yards. He got that from 2011 to 2014.
Yeah, more Spartan love for you here, Benny. Moving on to Shepherd University, and we're going to check in on Jabri Lally. He rushed for 110 yards or more for the 6th time this season. He has 1,002 yards rushing this year. And of course, that means he's reached that 1,000-yard plateau for the season. So continued success for Jabri Lally as he continues to do things at the Division II level.
And we're looking at West Virginia now. David Sills, he got a 10-yard strike to the Red Lion Wilmington alumni. His 16th touchdown reception of the season. He is sitting 3rd in touchdowns in the nation, only 3 behind the leader.
That's impressive, 16 touchdowns. Let's move on to Pittsburgh Panther football. Pitt Junior offensive lineman Brian O'Neill, formerly of Salesianum, is a semifinalist selection for the Warfel Trophy, which is annually presented to the Football Bowl subdivision player who best combines exemplary community service with athletic and academic achievement. Regarded as football's premier award for community service, the trophy is named after Danny Warfel, the former University of Florida quarterback and 96 Heisman Trophy winner, known throughout college football as a touchdown-scoring offensive lineman, the defending winner of the SB Nation's Peasman Trophy, and all-ACC caliber tackle. O'Neill has also spent much of his time as a Pitt student-athlete, giving back through numerous volunteering ventures, Benny.
Great story there. Our look at a Delaware athlete in the news, former Padua field hockey goalkeeper Haley Power. She was named the first team All-Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference and Conference Goalkeeper of the Year. That's a mouthful. Haley is a freshman walk-on and secured a starting role by Game 6. Junita College has won its 11th straight against in the Landmark Conference Volleyball Championship November 4th with a sweep of University of Scranton's freshman Victoria Taylor of DMA. Had 13 kills in that match to lead Junita. Abby Eneman, a freshman from Cape Henlopen, as well, is also on the team. A quick look at our players of the week. We have Morgan Mendick from Red Lion. The sophomore had an incredible performance, 16 aces in 1 match, and played solid defense to lead Red Lion to 2 playoff wins. She finished with 20 aces, 41 digs, and 5 assists.
It's incredible. Moving on to the boys player of the week. How about Brooks Parker, the Del Mar senior running back? 7 carries, 156 yards, Ben. 3 touchdowns. His TD runs for 68 yards, the little 7-yarder, and then the 66-yarder to end it. He averaged 22.3 yards per carry to lead the Wildcats to a win. Another stat, I never got 22 rushing yards in my high school career, and he averaged that per carry in 1 game.
Hashtag the brand.
Hashtag not an athlete. That's me.
Hey, you had more rushing yards than I ever did.
That's true.
All right, it is time to get to our top plays of the week, Pat.
You want to start it off, Benny, or do you want me to start it off? What do you want to do here?
I think I'll start it off.
You want to start it off this week? You're the man, the myth, the legend, Benny Pinella. Let's wait for our cue, and then we'll get this thing going. Here we go. Go ahead, Ben.
of Juliet Ullman's sketch.
All right, now look, do you agree with me that there's no way we could have dwindled that down to 5?
No, there was no way.
That's why we had to go with 10.
Not in the least. I'm going to make another special shout out to the DIAA State Championships around the corner. Get your tickets at statechamps.com or statechamps/DIAA.com. Also, our game of the week, Hodgson versus Middletown. Check out that live Friday night on 302 Sports.
Yes, sir, no doubt about it. And I also believe we got Delmar and Woodbridge going on down south as well. So we got nothing but great stuff coming on this weekend here on 302 Sports.
We're all over the place. So next week we will see you back here, same time, same place. Take care. Peace out.
Woo! Woo! Woo!